anything quite so enormous. I mean, look at this. This is the wheel from our Suzuki Liana. Now compare it, if you will, to the wheel of the Rolls-Royce. And that is its engine, a 6.7-litre V12. The last time I was in anything that had an engine that big, it had a captain. Everything about this car is vast. So, to test it, I took it to the home of that other great automotive colossus, John Prescott. I went to Hull. So, let's see. Is this car good enough to wear the Flying Lady, or shall we keep her hidden in shame? This is nice. Instead of a rev counter, I've got a power reserve dial. I'm currently doing 60 miles an hour, and according to that, I've got 90% of the engine's power still in reserve, just in case of emergencies. That's good. In the old Rolls-Royces, the ones from the 60s and 70s, 80s even, there was wind noise, there was tyre noise, there was engine noise. The only reason you could hear the clock ticking at 100 miles an hour is because the clock was so damn loud. But this is like a whisper in the vestry. It's a frugal car too. I drove it up to Yorkshire yesterday and got 18 miles to the gallon. So it's quieter and more economical than I was expecting, and it's easier to drive. I imagined that driving this car through a village would be a bit like trying to thread an oil rig through someone's letterbox. But it's not that difficult, actually. I mean, I know it's 14 miles long, but it's actually quite narrow. It's 6 inches narrower, for instance, than a Range Rover. So it's quite easy, relatively. I'm not distracted by toys either. In most luxury cars, there are thousands and thousands of buttons which let you tailor everything just so. But let me show you the radio in this as a prime example of what I'm on about. There's one knob. You push it, and Terry Wogan comes into the car. Turn it, and he gets louder.
Move away from me.
And you push it again, and he goes away. Then there's the gear arrangement. Tiptronic? I don't think so. I've got backwards, neutral, and forwards, and that's it. It seems this car represents an old-fashioned approach to luxury motoring. And I rather like that. Normally, I must be honest, I don't find the doors on a car particularly interesting, unless it doesn't have any. But, look at this. Not only does this open backwards, but in here we find an umbrella. Rolls-Royce is making a big deal about this, and I'm not entirely certain why, because you get exactly the same thing on a Skoda Spurn. It's the only thing that's superb about it. Inside, I simply push this button here to close the door, because obviously I can't be bothered to do it myself, and then I'm cocooned in this world of elegant simplicity. I love this leather work here and the aluminium. Look at this Art Deco lighting here and in the door handles and in the roof. That is fabulous. Then you've got the thick carpets and these picnic tables. You might think that the back is the best place to be. Calming. Nice. But actually, the Rolls is amazingly good fun to drive. Naught to 60 in 5.7 seconds and a top speed of 150. That's fast by anyone's standards, especially as the wheels don't appear to be going round. And it's not just good in a straight line either. Don't misunderstand me, it's pretty far from sporty, but it's not a hovercraft either. I didn't want to like this car. I wanted to say it was too big, too German, too vulgar. But it's completely won me over. Ever since it began, Rolls-Royce has been saying that it makes the best car in the world. Now, for 80 years, that hasn't really been the case. It is now, though. Once again, the spirit of ecstasy is just that. And here we are at journey's end, the real reason for coming to Hull, the Humber Bridge. For 17 years, the longest suspension bridge in the world. The towers are 1.5 inches further apart at the top than they are at the bottom, thanks to the curvature of the Earth. There's enough steel in the cabling here to go round the world twice. And it's British steel, British design, British engineered and British built with British money. We have the talent in this country to make stuff like this. So, why can't we do it today? The design of this car is British. The chief engineer who worked on it is British. But the engine comes in a box from Germany. So does the gearbox, so do the brakes, so does the suspension, so does the body. Even the leather on the seats comes from a flock of cows in Bavaria. All we do in this country is put all the bits together and nail the dashboard in place. It's pathetic.